On Sunday the 15th, I had a fire alarm inspection. This is all you're going to see of it, though. Don't worry, my apartment was super messy. Then I wandered over to Osaka Bay Tower, where I found not only a grocery store, but a grocery store with a choo-choo train. Going up a level and into the courtyard was this area. I don't know what to call it. Maybe this was an exhibit or something. Maybe this is for a promotion. I don't know. But it's nice to see people let their pet zombies have some recreation and fresh air. I hope you don't mind just how 70s my hair is becoming. It's Sunday night as I'm recording this. It's the last day before I find out whether or not I actually passed the course. I'm just gonna try not to think about the $1,100 this cost me. Hey, I still learned some. I can actually get by in a few conversations. And I would not trade this for the world. I don't think I lived up to their standards. And that's fine. Now, there's this taiyaki vendor that's on my route to school, and I kept just not going there, but don't worry, I finally bought one, and it was delicious. Now let's find out if I get executed or not. I did not pass. I had trouble figuring out the results, so I ran it through Google Translate's camera, and it said that my next class would be Beginner 1 again, meaning I did not meet the requirements to graduate to the next level. However, there was a completion/graduation ceremony, and I still got a nice certificate that said the course was completed, just not succeeded. And afterwards, late in the night, we all wandered into a restaurant close by Amerikamura, to party and celebrate. We arrived at 8 p.m., but the next closest available reservation that could take all of us was at 9 p.m., so we just kind of wandered around. I couldn't help but notice the Barbenheimer aesthetic these two got going on together. In all the times that I'd been to Amerikamura, I never noticed this, but apparently up here, if you look real closely, there's a replica of the Statue of Liberty. Then I needed a quick break to admire some very late Christmas decorations. Fellas, I'm devastated. I made treats for my class 8 of the 10 weeks, and they didn't even think to pass me. I don't know if I'll ever recover from this betrayal. I can't believe bribing didn't work. Oh, thank God, there's an Asian cafe in Japan. I was so worried there wouldn't be one. And then it was reservation time. Thankfully, they had this enclave with all sorts of couches. Only downside, QR code menu. Whatever you ordered, it wouldn't come all at the same time, but rather as it was made. Or in the case of my poor classmate, over an hour after you ordered. Sorry to you. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about the slate little plates. At least we had normal plates on the side. The food was a touch pricey, but still quite delicious. Definitely a celebration kind of meal. And to close off, I had this chocolate walnut dessert. And considering the price per food ratio, wasn't thrilled. I also ordered toast to share, and it was just 4 pieces of bread, slightly bigger than croutons, but not quite as big as bread slices. The food was still good, though. The next morning, it was St. Patrick's Day, where I made a heartbreaking discovery. Fellas, do not come to Japan. This is the worst country ever. They don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I mean, I'm still wearing green, of course, but I don't know why my dumbass keeps hauling myself over to Namba Station. Probably because I find stuff like One Piece Crocs. Don't worry, there's still something worth finding in Dotonbori, despite how overstimulating it is. Would it surprise you to hear there were Irish pubs in Japan? If so, don't worry, here they are. Literal hole in the wall and underground, just how I like it. Now you're not gonna see any footage, but you're gonna hear some footage of just how crowded the place was.
And nobody understood a word you said.
I probably should have ordered a pint of Guinness, but I don't like how it tastes, so I ordered a vodka cranberry and then a half size of fish and chips. And about halfway through my meal, I found this label, which I was tempted to buy, but it wasn't for sale. If you're looking for a St. Patrick's Day experience, maybe Japan isn't the first country on that list. You know, it is on the list? New Light. What was that I said about gaining weight before? This was a restaurant featured by Japan Eat. And honestly, if it wasn't for the katakana, I would have had no clue what this was. Or where this was. There are lots of signatures and zero English accommodation, just how I like it. And there was some J-drama going on the TV in the corner. Couldn't tell you what it was, though. Would anyone happen to know? My order of choice was the egg soup, following a very healthy sprinkling of chili pepper, or maybe paprika. I still haven't figured out what that is. I dug straight in. I had a suspicion that the broth was probably a chicken-based broth. It most definitely wasn't a vegetarian one. And you know what? That's fine. It's whatever. I confess I am not the strictest of pescatarians out there. Kicking up a fuss would have been, completely pointless. Besides, the soup was still very nice. Just the soft, delicate ribbons of scrambled egg within the broth, the green onion, the sesame seeds, and my vigorous choice of seasoning. It was just a touch too oily for my taste, but it's whatever. It wasn't enough to put me off from finishing it. And the old lady who spoke exclusively in Osaka Ben was a delight. I didn't understand much, but that's okay. New Light, done. Hey, please don't mind that every time I record in this position, the angle changes ever so slightly. I've been using a stack of books and packaged paper towels as the phone stand, because just resting it directly on the fridge with the microwave as the backer board, that was too short. And you can see the edge of the fridge. It is my final full week in Japan. I'm only leaving in 4 or 5 days? Today's Wednesday, I'm leaving next Monday. And there's one last place on the list that I haven't been to yet. But I'm not going there. At the request of a friend, I have made different travel plans. How about instead of going to the place that's much cheaper and much closer, how about instead I take a Shinkansen? To where, in fact? 多くの島はどうですか?